I got myself one of these new DoMain 3.6 because I want to review it and I want to see what's GEPRC doing these days. And here we have the drone. It's kind of like a small drone, but in theory it's going to behave like a big one. If you look at the model that I have here, it doesn't have a camera and it doesn't have a receiver either, which means that I'm going to be installing the O3 and the Express LRS.
Such a drag. What's your feel like never having no real life? I don't know how you deal. I can't imagine your pain. I'm just minding my business, but you so in your feels. There's something wrong with your brain. 'Cause every time you talk it sound like blah 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 blah. I'm just hearing blah 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 blah. Every time you talk it sound like blah 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 blah. I'm just hearing blah 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 blah. Every time you talk it sound like who hurt you. I wonder who made you so mad. Tell me where did you learn to be so negative? You're such a drag. What's your feel like never having no real life? I don't know how you deal. I can't imagine your pain. I'm just minding my business, but you're so in your feels. There's something wrong with your brain. 'Cause every time you talk it sound like blah 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 blah. I'm just hearing blah 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 blah. Every time you talk it sound like blah 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 blah. I'm just hearing blah 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 blah. Every time you talk it sound like blah. Your life must be so boring, boring out of your mind. Am I your entertainment? I promise I'm not even trying. Green really isn't your color. Please just give it a rest. If last time made you unhappy, wait till you see what happens next. Blah 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 blah. I'm just hearing blah 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 blah. Every time you talk it sound like blah 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 blah. I'm just hearing blah 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 blah. Every time you talk it sound like blah 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 blah.
Couple of things that I saw while building this. Number one, the GoPro mount is for a naked GoPro, not for a full-size GoPro. The USB port of the flight controller is very easy to access through this hole, and the same for the O3 port. One thing that I'm not sure that I did correctly, but the receiver is outside, which is a bit scary. Like if you hit something hard, you might be able to hit that thing there. And then the cable, the antenna cable, I had it like just running here. I don't know if that's the way that it's supposed to be, and I decided to put a tape because I don't want to have it completely exposed there. Very easy to grab like a branch or something. So I'm not 100% sure that that's the way that GEPRC does. I tried to see if I could get the cable from inside, didn't really find a place to do it. So I just did this. Probably not the way that GEPRC does, but that's what I did. Something else that I really like from GEPRC is the fact that all the screws that I needed to build this drone were in the box. So even the ones for the O3, which are very difficult to find, these small ones here, like they were included in the box, and that's really nice. So I didn't need to go and find anything else. The camera screws were also included, and that's fantastic. This drone comes without a GPS mounted, but the TPU mount here is ready to add another piece, which is in the box as well, and you can add your GPS if you want. The battery pad is this one that is very sticky. I'm glad to see GEPRC changing to that because it makes a difference. It's very similar to the one that we have in the shop at NordFPV, but that one you have to cut on like custom size. This one is made for this drone, very nice. I'm not so sure how I feel about these sides in plastic, injected mold plastic. Like, I don't even think that they look that nice, and they don't do anything special for the drone. Yeah, you could say that it covers the sides so you don't get grass and you don't get soil and dust inside, but really, like, I mean, you still have holes, which means that you're gonna get things, and actually to remove whatever gets there, like you're gonna have to remove 4 screws and go in, and I don't know, I think they are just complicating their life, adding these parts, these pieces. Injected molded plastic is expensive to create the molds. That should increase the price of the drone, and it's unnecessary from my point of view. Like, you don't really get a lot out of it. Okay, these are the kind of problems that I think are unnecessary when you have a drone, and it's all caused by this plastic plate here. Like, if you see, this is my regular USB-C cable that I use for everything else, and if I try to connect it, you don't see any light or anything, right? If I push a little bit harder, then you see that there is connected. But what this means is that this plastic is in the middle and the connection is not good. If I drop the pressure, it stops, because my specific cable doesn't go through this hole. Of course, then if I get the one that GEPRC has on the back, on the box, this one goes nicely through that hole, and it's gonna work without any kind of problem. You see here, you get lights. There is no problem with that cable, and they are providing it, that's fair enough. But again, it's like, what's the necessity of doing this and creating these kind of problems? My regular cable doesn't fit in there. Then you have to also see the design of the drone is a bit special, with the tail being lower than the head. It's not very common. I haven't seen anything like that before, I think. Does it do anything special? I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna get more aerodynamics or something like that just because of that. I think it's just a detail from them to do something different. But in general, the drone seems nice. It looks well built, as everything that GEPRC does. I'm sure that we're not gonna get the propellers in view here because of the way that this drone is like dead cat formation or position. So that's gonna be nice. One thing that I want to say is, like, I don't understand why GEPRC went with 3.6 size for the propeller. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna be able to run it with a 3.5 regular propeller, because there are not that many 3.6 inches propeller out there. I'm pretty sure that they should be, 2, 3, maximum 4 models of those propellers. And why? Like, why do you need to have 3.6? What is that 0.1 difference going to do for your flying characteristics? And that's something that I might have to test, but I'm not sure that I like the idea of having something that is that different to everything else. Again, it's 3.6, so it's just 0.1 inches difference. If you use a 3.5 propellers on this drone, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna fly fine, and it's going to be completely okay to do that. Now the drone is ready, and we need to make sure that the configuration works. Since I added manually both the OS3 and the Express LRS receiver, I have to make sure that they are correctly configured on Betaflight, and that's what we're gonna do right now. This is actually interesting because the configuration is for a plug and play, which means that it's normally when you have the receiver from the OS3. And you see that the UART1 is configured here for the OS3, and the UR2 it's on the serial receiver. There's one thing I forgot when you are connecting an O3 and Express SolarS, and it's the fact that the plug of the O3, this one here, it shares the serial UR that this one has here. So this one is serial UR2 and this one here uses serial UR2, which means I need to disconnect the S bus coming from the O3 so there is no interference. And of course there is a couple of different ways to do that. One, the simplest one will be just to cut the yellow and the brown cable there and just leave it hanging there. That would be the fastest. The most elegant is to remove the cable and remove both cables from both ends, so it's nice and elegant. And what it's left now is to go and fly it to see how it responds.
So handsome, oh you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this. And no one makes me feel like you do, and no one
My experience with the drone was short-lived because I crashed and I couldn't find it anymore after that. But from the little time that I had flying it, I could tell two specific things that I want to share with you. The number one is the fact that if you look at the weight of a regular 5 inches drone, we have around 460 grams. And if you look at the weight of the DoMain, it's only 323 grams. But here is the main thing. The battery that both drones use is the same, 6S 1300 mAh. This means that the weight of the DoMain is much less than the weight of a regular 5 inches, and therefore the power that you feel while flying, it's amazing. The second thing that I wanted to say, which is not that positive, is that the tune could use a little bit of help. You see, every time that I was trying to do like a power loop or something where I have to recover, I will feel a lot of prop wash. But beside these two things, I think the drone flies very, very nicely. The power was something that was amazing to feel. It was even a bit difficult in the beginning to get used to it. As the summary, I can say that this drone, despite small, is quite powerful and flies very nicely, comparable to a 5 inches drone. I'm still not 100% sure who is the real target for this one, because with all the new things that it has, the side panels and the shape and all this, it kind of looks more like a toy than a regular drone. This is what I had for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to leave a like, comments, and all those kind of things that helps us produce more of these videos without costing you anything. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.